So many books. How do I hold them all at once? Oh. Hi, it's Cara and welcome to my March book haul. I forgot the month for a second. We have the cat here hanging out. She's just being cute and sitting with me, so that's her here. Yeah. Yeah. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 books here that I bought in the month of March. I'm losing my ability to talk. I was meant to get a drink between the last video and this video, but I forgot. So we'll see how this goes. I'm really excited about all of these. Like, just really excited. But anyway, let's get on with the video. So first off, two books that you will have already seen if you saw my March wrap up. We have Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is her newest release. Obviously I've already read this. This follows the band, Daisy Jones and the Six, and it's their oral history of their rise and their fall. So it is told in an interview style format. It's a bit hard to see just by flicking through. You can hear me talk about it more in my March wrap up, but I really enjoyed it. It was amazing. This was also an auto buy for me after reading Evelyn Hugo. I'm not interested in any of her older books, but this style, this like alternate, like fake history, yes, sign me up. Then the other book I've already read from this list, this is Holy Sister by Mark Lawrence, which is the third and final book in the Book of the Ancestor trilogy. I have already read this and you can see my thoughts about it in my March wrap up. This series is a high fantasy, kind of grimdarky maybe. I don't really know what defines a grimdark anymore. We follow Nona Gray, who was a child slave kind of. She was captured or sold into to be a fighter, and then she joins a nunnery for assassin nuns. Yeah. This is obviously, yeah, the third book following from Red Sister and Grey Sister. Then another new release that came out, and I only just got this delivered just the other day. This is Once and Future by Amy Rose Capetta and Corey McCarthy. This is an Arthurian retelling in space, in the future. It sounds so good. We follow Ari, obviously Arthur. She's a reincarnation of King Arthur and a woman. And I'm pretty sure Merlin is aging backwards, so at this point he's like a 17-year-old boy. This sounds great fun. Apparently it's super queer and I'm going to be reading it in the month of April. In fact, I already have my bookmark in it that's just like in the first chapter. Then we have We Set the Dark on Fire by Taylor K. Mayhew. This is obviously Latina story, and we follow Daniela Vargas. She's the school's top student, and it's a school for women where women are trained to either be wives for husbands and run their household, raise their children, or be from the lower class. No. There are two types of wives. There are wives that have children and wives that run households. And you're raised to be one of the wives. I think. Okay, I'm still not 100% sure. I've heard amazing things, but this is like a dystopian kind of story. Ooh, very nice. Latinx, and I've heard it's really good. I've heard some really good things about it. Yeah, I believe it's got some dystopian elements, some like Handmaid's Tale elements, and it looks really good. Can you tell? I don't know how to describe it. The plot is kind of vague in the synopsis though, so I blame that, but I've heard some great things about this. Then we have two books in the same series. We have A Closed and Common Orbit and Record of a Spaceborne Few by Becky Chambers, book 2 and 3. I'm reading 2 in April and 3 in May. This is the Wayfarers trilogy. Book 2 follows Obviously this is like a sci-fi futuristic, very like hard sci-fi slice of life of aliens and humans and how that all interacts. And this one follows Lovelace from the first book, and Pepper, who is also in the first book. And this one follows Tessa, who I believe is Ashby's sister. So if you've read the first book, you know what I'm talking about. I'm really excited to continue on with the series. Then we have another sequel. This is Girl in the Tower by Catherine Arden, which is the sequel to The Bear and the Nightingale. Read The Bear and the Nightingale last month, or in March, and I picked this up straight away. Not sure when I'll get around to it, but following my self-imposed rule of buying sequels only after I've read the previous book, we picked up this. I'm so excited to read it though. This is a medieval Russian story that looks at women's empowerment, religion. It's very complicated. The first one was super character driven, but I heard the action really picks up in this one. Then we have A Study in Charlotte by Brittany Cavallaro. This is a Sherlock Holmes retelling in the future. What's this series called? The Charlotte Holmes novels. So we have Jamie and Charlotte, and they're at a fancy boarding school, Connecticut prep school. And they're the descendants of Sherlock and Watson, obviously. This sounds so cool. I love fun murder mysteries in the YA setting, and this seems like it will be exactly that, so I'm very keen. Obviously, I also wanted to pick up this because how could I not? This is The Near Witch by V.E. Schwab, which is the reprint of her debut work, which has been out of print for a long time, I believe. Like, it's just been impossible to get your hands on. And it finally has been re-released in this gorgeous edition. This also comes with a short story, which is called The Ashbourne Boy. This is only really short. It's just 300 pages. And I'm excited to read this very shortly. I don't really know what it's about. Witches, I guess. Another new release. We have The Secret Runners of New York by Matthew Riley. This is Matthew Riley's newest release. It seems more YA than his other stuff. We follow Sky and Red, who are twins, and they move to Manhattan, but there's a coming global apocalypse, and they travel into the future? I don't really know, but it sounds great. I've read every other Matthew Riley book, so it was kind of like a given that I should pick this up. I think Mum will read this before I will though, so we'll see what she thinks. Then we have another sequel, but I think this is a companion sequel based on the synopsis. And this is The True Queen by Zen Cho, which I believe is like the sequel companion to Sorcerer to the Crown. And we follow sisters, Muna and Sakti, and they have a curse, which is not really the plot of like the first one. But we did have the Sorcerer Royal in the first one, and this one has the Sorceress Royal. So obviously we're a bit like in a different timeline, maybe. I've read Sorcerer to the Crown a couple of years ago, and this just came out, so it was an automatic pickup. Hopefully I like it. I did like the first one quite a bit. I think it was like a 4-star read, I think. And then the final book for this book haul is by an author that I've been meaning to read for a while, but her sci-fi books never really drew me in as much as they seem to draw other people. And this is The Raven Tower by Anne Leckie. This is her first foray into fantasy. It also, weirdly, bizarrely, has the biggest font, and is only, 400 pages? I'm excited to try this. This is about it says, a usurper has claimed the throne. Invaders amass at the borders, and they've made their alliance with enemy gods. So they've been protected by a god known as the Raven, obviously living in the Raven Tower, but things are going a bit south. So Anne Leckie is the author of Ancillary Justice, which I have not read, but I've heard great things about. This has been blurbed by Lev Grossman. Didn't like his first book, but apparently no one does. Got to continue that series. Seth Dickinson. Love Seth Dickinson. S.A. Chakraborty. Didn't love as much as everyone else, but I enjoyed. Patrick Rothfuss, love him. Django Wexler, I haven't read, but I've heard is good. So got some good blurbs. Obviously, she's a master in science fiction, so I'm excited to see how she goes in the fantasy setting. So those are all the books that I bought in the month of March. Thank you for coming to my book haul. Comment down below if you've read any of these or if they're on your TBR. I'd love to chat with you about them. Look at her being cute. Oh, look at you. In the camera, you look like a Yoda. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I will see you soon with another video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!